Do you hear how official that was? That was crazy. That was crazy official. Who wants some contraband?
Sure.
Fine, handcrafted, fine Swiss chocolate.
Thanks.
Okay, so what are all y'all using AI for now?
Nothing, yeah. Not much, other than like writing.
His hand is out.
You were throwing it.
You were missing
And I was
out.
way back there. So I
Oh. So, I was throwing candy.
There you go.
came out there.
And finally crafted Swiss chocolate. So, I'm sorry, what do you?
Oh, like composing something, like I'm doing a fundraiser for the Chicago Marathon, so I was posting a blurb about it and putting it on my fundraiser page, and I had AI
Yeah.
help me write my script,
Yeah,
and then I went in there and just kind of modified it, so that's about the only way I'm using it, just personal use for constructing things sometimes. That's why I'm here.
Pretty much personal use. I've been taking Spanish, and I'll ask it to, if I'm writing a theme in elementary Spanish, please give me the history of the Chicago River.
yeah,
And then I modify it to my needs. I've also asked it to make up a joke for me
oh.
in my class.
I forgot to sign on to chat. Was it fun doing the joke?
Yes, do you know why math books are so sad? Because they have so many problems.
Oh, that's too bad. They have so many problems. That could be worse. Okay, now what did I, wonder if that's the right password. Am I gonna have to look this up? Yay! Okay, there. So let's definitely make this a discussion, whatever wherever direction you want to go, whatever is fun, we can look at some of the stuff I've got in PowerPoint and then say, okay, now where do we go from here? Because we're all in the same boat, right? Wait, are you both of you professors?
I'm an instructor in adult ed. I
Yeah.
teach math.
That's just kind of the same for me. I mean, everybody's a professor for me.
Okay.
For me. You can't, just don't let Tuan hear, because he's got actual PhDs and stuff.
I've known John for a long time.
Yeah, I don't care. We're all still professors, and he can take me to court if he wants. But then I'll have AI defend me. Okay, so big time in the classroom. To me, this is just all about collaboration with AI, and the more the more I learn about it, the more I think like, oh yeah, we're going to work together on this. And the more I learn about AI, the more it focuses back on the human. And the more convinced I get, of course, I'm a humanist, techno optimist. I think things are going to go well. The more convinced I get that the humans are precious. And as we do AI, we're just going to get reminded again and again of how precious the humans are. So I think it's going to make us, we're going to really start choosing the humans. Like when you call an insurance company and who answers? A machine. And that tries to act like a human. Isn't that annoying? Don't you hate that? And I think people are going to start choosing the humans on purpose. I think that's one way in which it's going to change the landscape of business. We'll get tired of Amazon running our entire lives. So I just put that on there, artificial intelligence specialist. I put it on my business card. Because who's going to stop me? And how is that not true? You know. So let's look at these. Paradigm shift, collaboration. What the heck is originality? So these are questions I think we get to with AI. It reflects back on the human. What do we mean by original? What do we mean by creativity? What do we mean by consciousness when we start looking at when's AI going to become conscious? Well, we have to stop and say, what do we mean by conscious? With artificial intelligence, we have to stop and say, what do we mean by artificial? What do we mean by intelligence? So this is the thing that I think my students don't get, but maybe you've already made this switch in your mind. But even though some AI engines are trying to get good at query, it's still, that's not how the tool's defined. This is the first time in history we've had an invention where the way we deal with it is to have a conversation with it. And a tool that's teaching itself, the tool that's growing itself, and soon will be autonomous and be making its own decisions. It's already made some decisions when I've asked it to do stuff. So, you know, when we went through the other ones, the wheel, fire, writing, printing press, transistors, computers, internet, those are all tools and somebody knew how they worked. And we're using them the way we want. This is going to start to have a mind of its own, and there's going to be very soon people on the planet where there's nobody who knows how it works. Even when they gave one of them, back when it was called Bard, I think they gave it a few paragraphs of Bengali and then a few paragraphs of the English translation. And it had never seen Bengali, and it didn't go to the web, and it taught itself the entire Bengali language. And then they asked the developers, well, how to do that? And then, having been in computers for years, it was the scariest answer you can imagine. We don't know. They don't know. So they call that emergent capabilities. To me, that's just nothing but exciting. You're going to wake up one day and the whole world will be so big we can't recognize it. Cool. And that's why coming out of the psych department, I'm like, oh, yeah, people are going to have a hard time with this. It's like when you go to grandma and tell her that God might be a woman. I wonder how I move it. It's not doing the moving thing.
Do it.
I'm pressing every button.
I do it with the mouse.
I'm pressing them all at once. So I big time right off the bat, I see this as a collaboration between us and the students. This is not something we're doing. It's not something we're trying to control or even steer students as much as we're just, let's all put our heads together. Even today, I decided to offer extra credit for students that went and played with ideogram and made interesting images. And they're going to bring them back to class. And when I look at them, completely subjective grading, if I go, that is a cool image, then they get extra credit. Up to once, 3 points, extra credit on a 400-point scale. But they hear the word extra credit and they freak out. So here's something I've been doing that I think might be a good move. You know, I generated this using text for this seminar, which conversation we're having today. And then I put the credits at the bottom. So this is made by me and Ideogram. I highly recommend Ideogram. It's free. And you get more features if you pay the $10 a month or whatever. So I'd recommend that, but you don't have to make some great images on Ideogram. You have to have the pay license on ChatGPT to make images, but there's so many generative engines and I can't even keep track of them. I use ChatGPT just because I'm familiar with it. I'm so used to it. So how do we even know what these are? So when students, like I'll ask my students, same question, when you use Word, is that cheating? Use Word to write a philosophy paper. But it's doing spelling, it's doing grammar correction, right? But I think pretty much everyone would agree that's not cheating. Then if you use ChatGPT to write a philosophy paper and you copy paste it and put it into Blackboard and submit it, is that cheating? I think pretty much everyone would agree that is cheating. Then there's this whole territory in between in the continuum. And Tuan can appreciate a continuum because it's an infinite number of points, and I have to explain that to students what a continuum is. So there's everything in between. And this is where I think the whole concept of cheating is a fantastic opportunity for us, because all the research says there's no freaking way. You cannot detect, you cannot control, you can't do any of that, which means now it's imperative that we redesign the way we teach and redesign the way people learn, which is so exciting. We get to reimagine and reinvent everything. That's awesome. But it's because we have to. So because I went to the Olympics this summer, so I went to ChatGPT and Ideogram, and I said, give me an image that's weightlifting themed, put 2024 on it, Paris, and a heart with the colors of the French flag in it. And then I just let it go. But I probably took 40 minutes, and I probably had 50 iterations between me and I think this one was chat, between me and chat, back and forth till I got the design I wanted. It would sometimes hallucinate, but mostly it just didn't strike my fancy. So then I'm wearing this t-shirt at the Olympics, and somebody would see it and they go, wow, that's a really cool design. And I go, yeah, I made it. So now what I did is I compared. Half the time I said I made it, the other half I said I made it with AI. I was doing an experiment myself to watch how I reacted. How did that feel to say I made it? Because did I make that? Is it okay, you think, for me to be proud of this? What do you think? Is this my stuff that I make this piece of art? You're thinking no?
It's not.
What do you
You
think?
gave AI instructions of what to do, but however, the output of it is still not yours. The input of the information was your idea,
Yeah.
but not the drawing itself.
What do you think? Is this my art? What is this?
Collaboration.
Collaboration?
Yeah.
My students were all over the map on this. They went all the way from no frickin' way, and also I'm a visual artist and I'm scared of this and I don't like it and I hate it and I'm mad. They went all the way from there to saying it's definitely your art. And one guy said, you're the creative director. It's a team and you're the creative director. And then I said to him, he goes, will you make a t-shirt like that for me? And I said to him, I'll send you my designs and I'll give you the link for the t-shirt company. But I had no qualms about sending him my designs. To me, that's also a dimension of, is it my art? Because it seems like, I don't know, but if it was my art, I'd still probably be sharing the designs. And I have no intention of trying to make money off it. But another dimension of the whole thing, there's lawsuits all over the place in the music industry. They are up in arms and they're coming up with ways they can sign a contract with an AI company and get residuals back. That's what they're working on, like having a subscription to it. So they said, make me a ping pong theme. Look at the two women playing ping pong by the river. Isn't that adorable? And then AI said, let's make the texture like the paddle of the ping pong paddle. It decided that. One of them I said 2024 and it put down 1924 and 2024 and I thought, well, that's a hallucination. You know what a hallucination is in AI? It's where it thinks something it's certain of something, but it's not reality. Just like a human hallucination, you're certain of something, but it's not true. And AI will do that. So it wrote 1924 and 2024, and I'm like, why I'll do that? Then I used this old technology, I don't know if you've heard of it, called Google on the interwebs. Maybe your grandpappy told you about it. It went out and looked at that. It turns out the last time it was in Paris was 1924.
Oh, wow.
So it figured out, wouldn't it be nice to bookend these? That to me is an emerging capability. I did not ask it to do that, but it came up with a cool thing. That now I'm dealing with a copyrighted piece in here. Those rings are highly copyrighted. So I thought, well, I'll wear this, but then I thought there's 15 million visitors to this event. And this is the only t-shirt out of those 15 million. I'm probably okay. That was my logic. The more I said, don't put the Eiffel Tower in there, the more I put it in. So this is a real talent to prompting. And when I've been to any kind of seminars with people from the business world, and they said, what are they looking for? That's one of the skills they're looking for is prompting. It really has a hard time if you say, don't do something. So you need to find ways to say what you do want it to do. And another thing I found with AI is I'll be cruising along having trouble getting the output I want, and then I finally get it and I go, that's perfect. And I'll say to it, that's perfect. Give me the prompt word for word that I should feed to you, so you're going to always give me those results. And it will write the prompt word for word. Yeah, so I'm having a conversation with it. So, if you haven't done this one, let's do this. We'll see. Now, is it going to make me sign in? Oh, God, I hate this when this happens. There's too many sign-ons in life. Am I right or am I right?
You're right.
How many sign-ons and passwords? And,
Starting my class, every class period takes like 5 minutes just to get everything
Oh,
signed on
no.
and ready to go.
at least,
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, you mean the TI-83 calculator?
CI-83, Blackboard, my math lab, my laptop and everything on there. And
now it's gonna make me, this is worth it though.
I do like that I can use it on my computer that way too. You just download your TI app and you just can sign it. Yeah. So if you can't do the sign on, you can do it on your laptop.
Two-factor sign-on. Also gets old. Authenticator, facial recognition, just trying to get in my email. I could not care less if the Russians have my email. Let them have all of it. It's either the Russians or Twan. Somebody's always trying to get in my email. I don't know who it is, but I also don't care. Okay, so, ready to go? So here we're gonna keep track and Twan's gonna do this with us, so we have a larger population. Here's the question, is that picture generated by AI or is that a real photograph of a real person? And you can keep your own score. What do you think, Twan?
Is it generated or real? Real.
Real?
I say AI, but.
Red means you were
Yeah.
wrong.
Because the background is not lined up behind his head. That's
Ah.
what kind of made me think AI.
Yeah, that, true, but also I think it'll be more fun if you just look at the face. But yeah, that's true. We need to do stuff like that. And I'm always saying with my students, how do you know, just in general, even if something comes up on Google, how do you know if it's true? And we've been using that as a way to force critical thinking. How do we step back, take a look, know our credible resources? And I just keep bringing this up again and again. We got to, especially in this day and age, we got to figure out how to, if we can trust something. Okay, so I can't believe I forgot your names already. I'm sorry.
Tina.
Tina.
Maureen.
Okay, Tina, Maureen, what do you think? Real or AI?
I'll say.
Yeah, real. Tina?
AI.
AI.
Oh.
Oops, that was real. Come on.
Real.
Guys,
Yeah.
this is so great. You want to hear the super embarrassing part? I've probably done this 40 times. I've gone through this thing with various groups of people, and I've never gotten over 6.
Yeah.
You would think I would remember who the real ones are. You, after that many times, one would think, wouldn't one? Maureen,
I can't tell.
it's hard, isn't it?
I mean, it's just a guess, like a random guess, so I'll say AI.
To hell.
AI.
But I mean, there's no
So we got-
rationale for that.
Let's try real. See if this guy's real. Oh
It
yeah,
looks real.
it's real.
The other one looked real.
Dina, what do you think? Tina Pavina?
AI.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's real.
Some filters going on in there.
Something's strange. That woman does not look average. Swan, what do you think?
That's good. I'm gonna say
It's the teeth.
This is so great that you guys suck so bad. It's wonderful.
AI. All right, Maureen.
All right, AI.
Hey, she's 3 for 3.
So you can measure families and friends with this. If you, like New York Times, you know, we have a subscription as humans at Triton.
Oh,
Yeah, we get a free subscription. You can just do it with your Triton email.
really?
Yeah.
Know that.
Yeah, so it's nice, but you can do this and do the whole, just go AI faces and you're gonna get to this page. I do it with all classes. Because then we get to this whole thing, which I think is huge for the day we live in,
Cool.
the day and age we have. And that's the question. This is becoming more and more and more a big question. What's real? And so how's that going to affect our students? We've got affect, which is feelings, in psychology, feelings, behavior, thoughts. How is it going to affect each one of those? I mean, feelings, you have to wonder if it's going to increase anxiety, which we already have an epidemic of. The social psych research is in on the epidemic of depression and anxiety in this age group that we tend to deal with. And COVID lockdown was just a little blip. It's all about 2012 with anti-social media. That explains.
It's all about what?
Anti-social media, social media.
Anti-social media.
Yeah, that's where they can tie right back to this epidemic we have currently. So my classes, there's no phones or computers of any kind, no pacemakers, nothing electronic. Yeah. And they have a project to do where they go 24 hours without any electronics of any kind, and then write about it, about their affect behavior cognition. And then one of the podcasts I was listening to, they did a big study on high school students. It was in, I believe, Australia. And they were saying this was how high school students saw college. Confusing, risky, and unsupported. That's how they were feeling about what's about to happen as they go to college. So this is what I love. This whole thing means we have to start learning critical thinking. Let's see if we can get in here. I wonder if it's going to let us in. Got it. Okay, highly recommend playing with Suno. I wonder if, let's see what I have in my library. Oh, ask me to sign in again. Google.
This is a public journey one.
Now, in one of these, I have my damn password written. See if that works. Oh, you bastards. I wonder if I spelled it wrong. But I just used it over on my computer. That's less than I remember. But how about if I didn't forget it? What if I just said continue? Okay, I'm going to put the same damn password in there. How about that? Make some songs. Some passwords I need to remember. For those, I use sentences. Okay.
Yeah.
Is this your Google account?
Yeah. Not only that, it happens every time. Google should be ashamed of itself. Thought it's worth it if I could just get there. So you're saying they're not the same? They look the same, don't they?
You look the same.
Looks like, see,
You
you
can't-
probably have an extra
Have you used
space,
it before?
or you have space.
Yeah, but they let me, oh, I haven't used before? Oh my God. I'll never remember this one. I put Tina Twan 22. Okay, I'm gonna kill these people. I'm gonna go directly to Jeff Bezos' house. No, that's not Google. I forgot who it was. Okay, so then I went in here. You can go in here and create a put any kind of lyrics we want in here. You can make your own lyrics. You can make them up. We could go like this. So what I did is I went and got a poem by John Milton, and then I stole some of his lyrics. And then I went in here and told it to make a song that's a dreamy, uplifting jam band. And it did this. Or you could just say, make this heavy metal or primrose, or you could turn it into a country song or whatever you want. Highly recommend playing with this. This is so much fun. I'll just be like, oh my God, half an hour creating, because every third one comes out something you like. So now you can see why
Yeah.
the music industry is trying to figure out what do we do. The first thing they did is they made it so you can't type an actual musician's name in there. I want this to be in the style of. And then for a while you could get around it by just putting, TAILORSWIFT. Yeah, you just spell it wrong. But, we got wiser and wiser, but now they're just figuring out what the heck do we do about it. I love those problems. I think those are major league psychological issues. It's all about how do we deal with the psychology of the rate at which things are changing, and they're changing at an insane rate. So this is how many transistors we've shipped since we invented them. There's only 200 billion stars in the Milky Way. This is way more than the grains of sand on Earth. And we're cranking out 1 trillion per second. That's how many we make. This is a good one too for waking up students, I think. Took 4 years for Facebook to go 100 million. And 6 weeks for ChatGPT. Oh, these things are all coming along so quickly. Sorrow. This should be no wait to get in here. Sorrow demo should take us directly to the website for OpenAI. No more pop-ups. Don't need the music. So here's Sora creating these videos based just on text input.
Wow.
Show me an eyeball that's moving around. Show me the following coastline. A litter of golden retriever puppies playing in the snow. So I try to show people this. To me, this is sort of the beginning of collaboration in the classroom. And this is something I love about all the classes and seminars I've been to and everything. We're all in this together. This is such a major change in the history of human beings. We humans need to come together. And everywhere I've been, it's that atmosphere. It's like we are in this together. The summit at, Amherst University, whatever it is. Everybody's just coming in trying to put their heads together. How are we going to deal with this? So that's how I treat it with students. We're in this together. What do? You can do this on text now. We need to be paying attention to what our world is becoming. And it's pretty cool. Oh, this one, they have the eyes of the works of art following the person as they go through there. So that's called Sora. And here's a case where it came out in January, blew everyone away, but they still haven't made it available to the general public. So then there's all these arguments behind the scene of people leaving OpenAI because of safety concerns. All the, possibly wiping out the human race and all that. So goes to, that's how you map out that's a mapped out protein. And apparently it's so hard to take a whole PhD, take a person, their entire PhD studies and map out one protein. But a year and a half ago at DeepMind in England, a couple of dudes, 2 months, 200 million proteins using AI, which is all of them. That's all the proteins. So now the next 200 million people that come along to do their PhD program, they can take the mapped out protein and start inventing drugs and curing diseases and what have you. So it's a case of acceleration, intense acceleration. And here's the classic statement from the Harvard Business Review, future of work, those podcasts and various work-related, working world-related seminars I've been to. AI is not going to replace people. So, which is good news for our students. It's people with AI. So I make AI proficiency one of my learning objectives. Here's what Nathaniel Whitmore knows probably more about AI than anybody. He's got the coolest podcast. And he reads everything and then does a summary for you. And everybody's saying the programmers are probably going to be 10 times more efficient. And Amazon has already said they've gotten 10 times more out of their current programmers. So some companies are going to say, wow, profit, now we can just get rid of 90% of our programmers. So some people look at it that way. Nathaniel says that's not what's going to happen. They're going to keep the same programmers, but they're going to get 10 times as much done because there's an unlimited, insatiable need for the programming. If you look at Sora, that's a lot of people behind the scenes. So we'll see. So when I'm doing AI proficiency in the class, I just play with these things. My psych people, let's look at some use cases here. One of my students found analogies to be extremely useful, so she this is kind of how I look at it. We've got our teaching and our learning, and oh my God, those ever dovetail into each other. We need to reinvent the whole thing. We get to reinvent the whole thing. So in my syllabus, here's my learning objectives. The usual, learn the shit, then the stuff. Was that my outside voice? Okay, learn the stuff, and then critical thinking, of course, joy of learning. I've always had these. Now I've got AI proficiency. We don't need to know how to take apart a computer, but we definitely need to know how to use one to get into the future. It's our world. Same with AI. We don't need to know how it works at all. In fact, I've written a bunch of AI programs. I have no idea how it works. So I've used it. Anybody use it for assessment? Have you? You have? How did you do? What did you feed into it?
I fed in the Pythagorean theorem for my math for elementary educators, and they had to answer 14 questions. 3 of them were multiple choice, 4 where they have to write in information based on the article that they have read, and the others were matching.
And how did you have AI grade that for you?
I had it graded by what was correct when I put the correct answers to them, and then if they received, I put one where if it was close to the language of the verbiage, especially the writing.
That's the part I was thinking about, the writing part. Yeah.
Right, to still give them credit for it, as long as it wasn't verbatim from the article.
Okay, and then it kicks it out, and you own the output. So then you look at the output, right? That's a key thing that I hear all the time. We own the output. There's no other reason for the hallucinations or whatever else it's going to add to it. That sounds cool. One thing I did for assessment is a really complex paper I have for a personality class where they're inventing their own personality model. And so I've got 2 pages of instructions on how to do it. I put my rubric in there also. Then I put 2 papers that are excellent examples of how it should come out. And then I feed students' paper in there, and it brings back like 250 words of feedback. Then I look at that and I read the paper and I'm like, oh, that's a great starting point. That's a great outline. I'm going to change it this way, emphasize that or whatever. So I take the output. So I probably get twice as good feedback and half as much time, I would say. That's how I would look at it. Yeah, so that one does, and then I have learned from taking the prompting class, I learned to turn around and say to ChatGPT, is there a better way I could do this? It's taken me a long time to realize I'm having a conversation with this thing. It's not going to volunteer a better way. But if I ask and say, is there a better way I can do this? It goes, you could put them all in there at once. Why are you giving me one paper at a time? Just throw them all in there. Why did that not occur to me? So I just threw the whole class in there and it just grades them all.
But that's
Okay.
only if you have the upgraded version of ChatGPT, not the regular.
It depends, yeah. And of course, everyone should have the regular one because $20, oh my God. If you have like, Netflix or a phone plan or you ate dinner one time during the month, I'm going to go, everybody should have the 20, everyone should be spending the $20. It's like nothing compared to what it's going to do to the human race. Okay, so we're going to say simulations. Oh, it's great. Let's look at some of the specific use cases I've done. There's my paper I graded. Okay, let's look at these let's look at, and so here's a big reason you definitely want to have the paid version. You can make your own GPTs. So you can make your own customized one. So I've got this thing that I bind when my chairperson is not looking because of the expense associated with it. It's only $100. But last semester I couldn't do it because 100 was too much. Okay, so, but what it is it's chapter by chapter in my intro psych class that's got all the key terms for that chapter. And then it's got a place to write the definitions and a place to put examples. So I call it the like universal note organizer, and it's got some key concepts in the beginning. It's got a bunch of stuff in it. Oops. So what I did is I loaded it into a custom ChatGPT, a custom one, because it said, "What do you want to do?" And I said, "I want you to take this thing and it's taking that long to come up." Okay, I want you to take this thing and let's say Unit 8, I don't know what it is, let's say it's personality. Take Unit 8 and put it in Spanish, and then in theory it should translate it and give it to us in Spanish. So it goes through the same thing, unit by unit or whatever it is you want as a student. So one of our students is really having trouble with English. I don't know how she's gonna, and I thought her native language was Polish, but it turns out it's Ukrainian. So I just said,
Wow.
and it's got no problem with Ukrainian. Somebody said Belarusian. They had no problem with that either. So then just for fun to get your students thinking, I always like to go Mandarin. Yeah. So, Xing Zhang, Kong Zhang. So that's just one that does one function. Then we have this crazy thing, which I almost swore again. We have this crazy thing, Board Policy 6080. Anybody shake when they see that? That's the one that says all the 22 things you have to have in your syllabus. That's Board Policy. So they did that. Linda went through 170 syllabuses and made sure it had all 22 of those items. Took her like 40 hours. Then the dean sends her a chart, and the chart says, okay, now go through all the syllabi again, only not only does it have the element, but what page is it on? And I said, you gotta be kidding me. That is not a good use of her time. So I went in here and made a custom ChatGPT 6080, and in this one you feed a syllabus in there. Where are we in our? Well, I think I put these on the desktop. No, I didn't. Let's go into intro psych. Go get a syllabus. Then you feed the syllabus into it. Let's see if it works. And it goes through and says, okay, here's all your items that you need from board policy 6080. And here's the page numbers that they're on. Then it didn't do it well this way, but it created this fourth column, comments, and started putting the contents of the field in there. Not just does it have it and what page is it on, but it started putting the contents in. And it's erratic. Sometimes it gives all the contents, and sometimes it's 3/4 blank like this. So you can do this. This is just so valuable to me as a for the $20 a month. But also, I did figure out how to go through the bureaucracy and try to pay for it. I did like expense reimbursement, something. I don't know what it was called. So then I invented this one called QuizCraft. And if I go, how should we create a quiz? What kind do you want? Like what kind of questions? What kind of whatever? What should we do? Create a quiz with how many questions of what type, or how should we do it?
Fill in the blanks.
With blanks.
Oh, don't we have to specify how many fill in the blanks? 4.
Okay.
And it's only gonna go by the syllabi.
Let's say multiple choice. This is one thing I like to do. You have 7 possible answers each.
And it's only going by the syllabi?
It's going from my universal note organizer. So that's what it should do. And let's pick Unit 8 again and see if it works. Oh, see, it doesn't. It now didn't take it to be. You know, it might be the other one that I was using. I think I had another quiz creator.
Don't you have to don't you have to remind me which, the document that you, so it's the document.
There you go, fill in the blanks, multiple choice. And essays. And I like to have, like final exam is 10 essays and they pick the 5 they want. And then during the semester, I'm giving them periodic essay exams that aren't graded. But I'm setting them up for the fact that you have to actually know this stuff. And you're going to do the essay in class. That to me is part of reinventing. I'm definitely not having to do the essay out in the world where they could be using who knows what to do it for them. It always was possible they could use another person. Now they can use chat, so freaking easy. So what I'll do is I'll generate 50 essay questions, which it does in a few seconds. And then I pick the ones I want, then I alter them, combine them, that kind of thing. It takes 20 minutes to create the final exam. I often create exams on the way into class, like fill in the blanks, and I say make it at a high school level because I'm using it to generate conversation and not as a formative assessment. So just for getting, and I put them in teams of 3 and, figure out what the answers are, then we discuss them. It's nice, it's a nice learning tool that way. Here's my lab companion where I have 2 comedians, my 2 favorite comedians, Brian Regan and Stephen Wright. So I just say, make me a joke that's like one of them. We did this with my Zoomy friends and I. We Zoom every night and play Rummy Cube. And we said, let's make one eat to live. And you say, I want to reduce swelling in my joints. And you do that, and it shows you all kinds of recipes that would help. So, basically you can do whatever you want. And then here's one of my favorite things, explore. Okay, what would you all like to do in the classroom? What would you like ChatGPT to do for you? You run into any specific problems or?
Yes. Create 5 challenging problems that combine real world and set theory.
Okay, so we can try set theory and see if any, look, AI set theory tutor, introduction logic and,
Yep, that
introduction to logic and set theory.
one. Uh-huh.
Why'd you make that one? He did. I don't know why it's taking a while or taking,
It's pulling them all the time.
come on, you knuckleheads. I'm hitting the click button. Start chat, help with set theory. But what I'm pointing out is as you go searching, you can get, because people out there have made a zillion of these and they put them out on the market and make them available to all of us. So if I get one of mine that's working really well, like that quiz craft or whatever, if I get it working really well, I'll just put it out there and make it public. So in the meantime, you could, Summary Monkey will take the transcript from a podcast and just put it into 8 to 10 bullet points in 25 to 35 words. And then I use it for the newsletter for AI. Like this, because I listened to the whole podcast and go, that was great, now what do I do? And I thought there's a couple of podcasts where I'd spent like a half an hour trying to find the damn transcript. And I was all over the web, just could not find it. And I said, I give up. And I fed this thing the link to the podcast. And it went and found it and figured out a transcript and just did it. It's supposed to be multimodal. So in essence, it's supposed to be able to listen to the voice and turn it into text. It's supposed to be able to, but how it would do it that fast, I have no idea. Because it took a very little time. So, what else do we do with this thing? Oh, that's how I get their interest, because you, I don't know if I should assume you've done this before, but story less than 200 words. And I'll say to students, about what? What should it be about? Maureen, what do you want it to be about?
Recycling.
All right. And what else?
Oh, so
We
it's
can make
supposed to have
whatever you
two
want.
topics.
Characters, atmosphere, a plot, anything you want or don't want.
In Chicago,
Okay.
in Austin neighborhood.
Tina, what do you got in here? What are we putting in here? Anything about the atmosphere or the kind of story it is?
Trying to make it like something that encourages people to, something that's encouraging people to do it, motivating people.
Like
Oh.
uplifting or.
Yeah,
Oh, you guys thinking about making the world a better place?
convince, I know.
I don't bother with that. I'm just saying. Okay, how about this? This might do that.
It's right, that
This
works.
goes 5 for her. And let's say it includes.
Make it a horror story.
Let's say it
With
includes
dragons.
dragons and has a happy ending.
Oh, wow.
That contains secret government plans. It's Max left. Oh, a sleek black dragon, Serafina.
That's
Mm.
crazy.
I need your help. Together they devised a plan. Him and the dragon. The final showdown. Sophia revealed herself. Max and his team confronted the corrupt officials. Oh my God. That is so cool. Serafina snuck in there.
In
Wow.
presentation, I went to Northern Community College, Northern Universities and Community Colleges. The presenter from Arizona said this, and she stated that she does not allow students. She said it's for fun, like Jim is doing, And she's to encourage them that they can write, but she never lets them use it. They can't use it in class. They have to write in class.
Yeah.
In class, yeah. And that to me is one of our design points, how we're gonna help people learn to write. They need to be doing it. They just need to be doing it right now. It's just,
Right.
just a different way of doing things.
And she, like you said, she would just give them encouragement. And she teaches ESL, so she was doing it for encouragement to show them that they can do it and how the writing structure is.
Yeah, there you go. So then I said, do it in Spanish, so I put it in Spanish. So
Wow.
to me, one of the most thrilling things, of course, is how quickly it does it. It has
Yeah.
no problem. I always say, let's go Mandarin. You gotta go Mandarin. And then, let's say, let's turn it into a sonnet.
Wow.
So the same story is now a sonnet.
And Shakespeare.
14 lines, 1 rhymes with 3, right? 2 rhymes with 4.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Do it as a haiku.
Okay. How do you spell it? H-I-Q-K-U?
It hesitated for a second on that one.
Because it's shorter.
Yeah.
Apparently.
A haiku is short, so it did. They're trying to capture the whole
Yeah.
the beginning.
And I like to do that to generate interest, because I watch with my classes, part of the collaborating for me is getting them interested and involved. Because they'll see it go, they'll see the AI and go, and then they'll go about their lives, and I'm like, no, I must shake you by the collar. And I do whatever I can that gets their attention. And all these different things I do in class because it does get their attention. So this is a good one for, which might be good in your, an argument between, let's say, Freud, Skinner, Rogers, and me, no, Rogers, about the reasons for Kanye's narcissism. Okay, so you could have an argument and then just say, let them argue it out.
That's very entertaining.
Skinner. So so I tell the students, pick something you're interested in, then you can have these people argue it out and you'll be learning their perspective as they're doing it. It's perfectly happy to play. That's, in this world, that's called personas. Ironically, since that's a Jungian term. Except when you go back to the ancient Greeks. Personas are great. What else have I done here from the learning side? So I think it's a huge help to take care of busy work, as you do too. Yeah. My letters of recommendation, I've written 3, I think, in the past month, and they took me 10 minutes instead of an hour and a quarter. I don't want to become good at writing recommendations. It becomes a question of what is the goal exactly. So if students use it for XYZ, I step back and go, well, what's the goal here? What do we want them to learn? And in my case, I wrote my a proposal here and a number of letters and some really complex emails. I wrote them all using this. I don't want to get good at writing any of those things. I don't care about any of those things. My goal was to do the project I was writing the proposal for. That's where I come in, the human, doing the project. Writing it up, proposing it, like a grant proposal. I don't want to write that. I don't want to become a good grant proposal writer either. There's a big problem right now in college applications with chat writing people's their college essays. They need an essay for their application. So again, all through the podcast, all through the seminars, been to everywhere, they're saying soft skills. What differentiates students, good workers from others? They have to have AI proficiency. Once you get that far, now we want soft skills. We want organization, teamwork, compassion, empathy, communication. They want all those things. That's what they're looking for. That differentiates them from other potential employees. Man, does that come up a lot, soft skills, oh my gosh. Over and over and over and over and over and over and over. And for me, because my personality, I keep stressing how much fun it is. So, oh, I know, let's do it this way. So what's the goal? What do you think? Is this a good use of ChatGPT, or have we lost something? If we have it write a grant proposal, I would say let's just have it do it. Hand it to AI. What about creating classroom exercises? Is it okay for us to hand that to a generative AI program, or should we be doing that?
I think it goes back to that whole collaborative thing. I think it's great for it to generate ideas, generate the exercises, but the human's still there to give the final check and check and eyes to it.
Yeah, so you're the leader. Yeah. When we get tutors, it'll be interesting when everybody from pre-K to grad school is a tutor. Then the question will be, who's doing what? Who's learning? Learning to apply course material. To me, it's collaborative again. That this can act as a teacher to help. One place that writing a paper, as far as I'm concerned, it can totally handle my syllabus, get it out of my hair. Assessment, but then assessing. A couple of different things. And I'll send you this PowerPoint if it's useful. Creating original music, how about creating music that sells? What is our goal? And if we're just cranking out something that sells, we're in a business, which is a lot of what K-pop is, and Motown and the Monkees. Remember the Monkees?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a group invented by a corporation to make money. And then along the way, the Monkees are awesome. They're like fun. The Monkees are way fun and entertaining. And I'm completely obsessed with K-pop, and K-pop is made by corporations. They get their players together and build a group. They build a musical group, and it is so much fun. And they go behind the scenes using AI with the music to get you addicted to it. So they're deliberately designing it so it's catchy, for instance. So they know how to design catchy now. So it's going to get to a point where things are so ridiculously catchy we can't even resist them. It's already that way for me with K-pop. Write bedtime stories for your kids, but I'm telling everybody I see that it's time for us to play with this. We should be having fun. It's so cool that we're in that part of the history of AI. We're at the beginning of it, and it's time for us to just get in there and jump in and start doing stuff. There's me and Triton. I've got the AI, so get on this if you're not on it. Are you two on there?
Yeah.
Maureen, are you on the interest distribution list?
No.
Okay, I'll give it, and you should get on there, and then they'll get emails with like interesting things or use cases I found.
Write to you and ask you to get on it.
That'd be the easiest.
Okay.
Then I'll see it. And then keep trying to make an AI committee. That turns out to be hard. We've got an AI social club, but everybody graduated. So now I'm offering my students extra credit if they go over there and form a club, which is going to look great on your resume. President of the AI club. No employer is ever going to ask you, well, what exactly did you do in that club? No, they're just going to see the line item on their resume. That's going to look awesome. The library's gearing up. And here's this is probably my 5 favorite podcasts. This one is philosophy and ethics, sociology. This one is an education podcast. They just keep coming back to AI a lot. The TED AI show is a wide variety of stuff. This guy, the AI Breakdown, AI Brief, that's Nathaniel Whitmore, and he just reads everything there is on AI and then gives you a rundown, like a 15-minute rundown of the top stories and then something else. And these guys are hysterical. AI in Education is out of Australia and the New South Wales school district, which has 600,000 students and 200,000 administrators and faculty. And so they run into some problems.
Are these podcasts?
Podcasts.
Okay.
Oh, I didn't even say that. Thanks. Podcasts, yeah. So which are super. You just put on your phone, hook it to your car, and when you're driving, if you have cars, you use cars to get back and forth from work, then you just play it in your car. You can also get them on the web and play them at home or whatever. And don't forget, you can feed this stuff from here into ChatGPT and get summaries, get it in whatever form you want. Yeah, these guys are funny. I find them funny. And they have interesting guests too, who come in and say, well, this is what we needed to do at our schools, and this is how we addressed it. When I just gave a presentation at Highland Community College, and I used AI to generate that picture of that intro slide. And then for them, I said, generate a picture with these colors, that's Highland's colors, students interacting with each other. It still has trouble with eyes, which way they're pointing. And then this is their, not their logo, but I said, give me a cougar from the side. Here's my credits. The board policy of this is what it's like when it fills in the hole. Board policy. Man, I found that so annoying. Now tell us what page it's on. No, not going to tell you what page it's on. How about that? So, any ideas, capiche, anything you would use it for in your class? All these things are in the PowerPoints if you want to, for instance, go here and amaze your family and friends and students and see how well they can do on the face recognition. I'm trying to make the point that you can't do it, basically. You can't tell the difference.
Right.
So that's an important change in our history, I think. No matter how good an artist got in the past, you could tell the difference. And now we can't. Obviously, that's got big implications politically. In that one podcast, whatever I said, whatever it was, this one at the end, these guys are awesome. They're the ones that alerted us to anti-social media and how it's going to divide up our culture, and that's exactly what happened. Now they're warning us about AI and various effects, and they've got a great episode on the elections in Taiwan, because Taiwan was being relentlessly attacked using AI by China. China was trying to mess up everything in their elections. They have 3 political parties, and there's an episode they have of how the person in charge of making the elections go well, of how they did it. It's like a step-by-step. This is how we did it, and they did a great job. They had a fantastic election in January, in spite of the other world leader, which is China, attacking them constantly, trying to mess everything up, but they still did it. And you know what they did? They relied on the humans. The humans came to the forefront again, and human nature won the day. The next thing you know, they had a fantastic